Okay, so we are going to start with this beautiful layout. It does make a two-page layout. Like I said, you should have, hopefully everybody has, there are two pieces of avocado cardstock and two pieces of the bouquet paper. And the bouquet paper should have the green tone-on-tone stripes on the back. That's the one I pulled from that Croptoberfest bundle. So we're going to do one at a time. And this uses what I call the framing technique with our 12-inch trimmer. And the framing technique is great. You can make a frame for any page, and this is just a page I'm showing you, not something we're making today, but you can make this green frame. Is so simple to make on our trimmer. I wanted to show you a different way to do it on another size paper. I usually take 12 by 12 pieces of paper. I'll make a 1-inch frame. I think this one is a 3/4 inch frame. Super easy to make a frame, but I'm going to show you an easier way. It's so much easier when you do it as a 1-inch frame like this. And it also shows the design still on that beautiful bouquet paper. So take your bouquet paper out first. And I want you to look at the back of your paper. The back of the paper is that tone-on-tone green paper that has a direction to it. I can turn it so the lines are horizontal or the lines are vertical. So what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm cutting through the paper so that the vertical lines are going up and down. So I'm cutting through the center of those lines rather than cutting along one of the lines so that they're horizontal. If you do it horizontal, it's no big deal, but you just want to make sure that both pages are done exactly the same. Because if you do one horizontal and one vertical, that design in the middle of our page is going to be different on each side of your two-page layout. So you want to make sure. I wanted that my lines to be vertical. I just thought it would look prettier than that horizontal look. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your two pages with the horizontal line both going up and down, stack them on top of each other. And if you quick take a peek at the back, your bouquets should be on top of each other. So the first page, the bouquet is at the top right. I'm looking at it upside down on my screen here. So the bouquet is on the top right, and then the other page, the bouquet is on the top right. And if you flip it over, you see that horizontal line is going up and down. So what I want to do is take my trimmer. I'm going to pull out the arm because I want to cut it at 6 inches. So I'm going to turn it sideways so that those lines are going across my trimmer. I'm putting the paper up two at a time. I know it's scary. If you want to do one at a time, I get it. Here, I'll do one at a time so that I can do it twice for you. You're going to put your paper in at the 6-inch mark. You're going to put it up against that paper ledge that they call it up here. So it's a guide so that your cut is going to be exactly perpendicular. Did I say that right? Um, so it's at the 6-inch mark. Notice my lines are going horizontally across that trimmer, and I'm going to cut it right at that 6-inch mark. Okay. So I have two edges now. And if you flip it over, you're going to have one side with a big bouquet. That's the one we're going to use. This other one we're going to put away for later because that's going to be used on another page. So we're going to do the same thing with our other page. We're going to put it in at the 6-inch mark. If for those that did them separately, put it in at the 6-inch mark. And we're going to put it right up against that paper ledge. Our lines are going across the trimmer horizontally, and we're going to cut it at the 6-inch mark. And again, we're using the two sides with the bouquet, and the other side that's mostly white with green on the back, that's going to go tuck that away for later. We'll use that one later. All right, now is everybody caught up? Now to make the frame, and don't be afraid to talk, to make the frame for this page class, or for this particular page, I did a 1-inch frame all the way around. And I'm going to show you, in the past I've shown making a frame and using those little binder clips. I used to set it up that you would put your blade housing at a certain mark, put a binder clip before it, and you could just go between, put another binder clip on the other end, and you could just move your blade back and forth with between the binder clips. This one, you don't need the binder clips. This is a brilliant lesson I learned. I was absolutely floored because I never even thought about it. So, quick fun fact, on your blade, on your trimmer, if you have the Creative Memories trimmer, the blade will start cutting right at that white line. That's where it's going to start to cut. From that white line to the edge of this blade housing, this little box is called the blade housing. The white line to the edge of that box is exactly 1 inch. The white line to the other edge of that blade housing is 1 inch. So if I were to put my piece of paper in here, I put it right at the 1 inch mark. The edge of the paper is at the 1 inch mark. I put my rails down. I put the edge of that blade housing right to the edge of that paper. See how the edge of the blade housing is right on the edge of the paper here? That is going to start cutting at 1 inch. And if I put it at the edge of the paper and move the blade housing down so that this edge of the blade housing right here comes to the edge of the paper at the bottom right here, I've cut my paper 1 inch from this edge to 1 inch from that edge. So just use the edge of the blade housing and it makes this slit in the paper that starts 1 inch from the bottom and 1 inch from the top. And then you're going to turn your paper to the 1 inch mark on the long side, and you're going to do the same thing on each side. You're going to start your blade housing on the edge of the housing is on the edge of the paper. I'm going to press and I'm going to go down to the other end so that the edge of the blade housing hits the edge of the paper. And again, it's going to make this beautiful slit, and you can see how my frame is starting to make. You're going to turn your paper one more time. Again, you are going to put the blade housing on the edge of the paper, press and go to the other side edge of the paper and stop. And you can see how it is actually cutting a frame out of my paper. And I'm going to do it on all 4 sides of this piece of paper. So again, the edge of the blade housing is starting at the edge of the paper. I'm going to press and go to the other edge. And that cut out a 1 inch frame without me worrying about measuring, without looking at numbers. It is so easy to do a 1 inch frame. Even if you do a 1 inch frame all the way around your page, sort of like this one, if you do a 1 inch frame all the way around your page, so super simple. You don't have to worry about measurements. You don't have to worry about binder clips. The 1 inch frame is the easiest one to do. So I figured let's do it on a 6 inch piece of paper and see how it looks. And I thought it looked pretty good. So now what I would do is I would put my piece of avocado cardstock down. I don't even have to worry about the edges of the pages. I'm going to take out these examples because the 3D pieces are making it uneven. So now I have my piece of avocado down. I'm going to put this. Now I have a mat that it is the 13 by 13 inch Creative Memories mat. And if you notice, I'm just going to turn my light a little bit. If you notice around the edge of the paper, when I put it down right on the lines for that 12-inch piece of paper, you notice I have measurements around the outside of the page. Um, Love this mat just for that because I don't have to take my ruler. This is a clear ruler. I could take my clear ruler, do the same thing, hold it, and make sure that I'm taping this 6-inch square right in the center. Um, so it would start at 3 inches and end at 9 inches up here. With having this 13 by 13 inch mat, it makes it super simple because now I can put tape on the back of this frame. And you don't need tape everywhere. I know some people put tape all the way across a piece of paper. Once your page is on under a protector or in a top loading sleeve, that paper is not going anywhere. So you really only need tape in key spots. I never put a lot of tape on my papers. Also goes to if I want to pull it up, I can. So now with having my paper down on that 13-inch mat, it's kind of nice. I can see I'm starting one corner at 3 inches. My top corner here is at the 9-inch mark. And I want to make sure going across, same thing. And then just tape it right down in the center of your page. That itself looks beautiful, but I wanted to go the extra and I'm going to put the piece that came out of the middle is now your piece of green that I'm going to put right in the center of that hole. So I'm going to put some tape on the back of this. And I'm going to stick, whoops, a little tape over the edge. I'm going to stick this green piece right in the center of my hole and line it up as best I can. And there is my beautiful page. And then I can go into my embellishments and pick out whatever embellishments I want and embellish it. How pretty is that? Super, super easy and such a cool, different technique that how many have done this before? So again, we're going to do the same thing for the other side. And what I want to do is I just want to make sure that when I do the other side, notice how my bouquet is up here. I don't want my bouquet in the same spot on the page across. I'm going to probably want my bouquet opposite. So when I have pages that are going to go next to each other in a layout in a book, I'm going to make sure that the bouquet is on the right side on one page and it would be on the left side on the other page. But I'm going to do the middle the exact same way. I'm going to take that piece of paper. I'm going to put it at the 1-inch mark. Put your blade rails down. I'm going to start the blade housing box right on the edge of the paper. I'm going to press it and go down to the other edge of the paper and let go. So the blade housing box is ending right on the edge of that paper. Just take it up. It makes that beautiful slit in there. And then I'm going to do it on each side, watching that the box goes to the edge of the papers on each side. And you'll see each side, it's just making that perfect slit and that perfect frame for you. This is probably the easiest page we'll do all day. But it's a really cool technique. Again, you can do this with a 12-inch piece of paper, 8-inch piece of paper, any size paper, because that blade housing has that 1-inch measurement all set for you. You can do it on any side, any size. So for the opposite page, again, remember, I don't want my flowers to be in the same side as the opposite page. So what I'm going to do is flip it over to tape that down. And I'm going to just tape it down at the 3-inch mark. So you want it to be 3 inches from each side. Now, if you want to make it so that your boxes are on one side of the page and you have more room for pictures over there, you certainly can. I did want to point out, watch where you place your embellishments, because for this one, I would probably plan to do 2 3.5 by 5.5 photos there. And I probably do a 4 by 6 photo on top, as I had showed before. So I want to make sure wherever I put my embellishments, if I had put this here, I probably wouldn't have been able to get a photo there. So I may want to put this here, or I may want to pull out a different embellishment. I'm probably going to use the flowers. I loved how I did it on my example page. So I would just pull out some of the embellishments that were just straight flowers. And that way, if I put a foam square, these are the 3D foam squares. If I put a foam square on the center of the back, and you don't need them all over, it's not going to hurt your page. It's not going to go anywhere. Just have 2 on there, and it's hard to see in the lighting here. So I just put one in the center of the flower and a little one down towards the bottom. That way I can get pictures tucked under my page. So if I put that here, there's no tape under this edge. So I can put that here. It's taped on, and then I can be able to tuck my pictures underneath that embellishment. So, and I like the idea of another flower added to the bouquet in the corner. So I'll probably just do I think there's an embellishment with just a flower piece. Here we go. And I can put that right here. And again, tuck. If I just put that foam square right in the center, so I just have one big foam square right in the center, all this room, like all these leaves, they'll be sticking out. It's okay that they're not taped down. It's, once you put that protector over, it's not going anywhere. And trust me, these are really sticky. So if I put this right here in the corner, I can tuck a picture way under it if I wanted to. So just remember, when you're placing your embellishments, that you want to make sure you have room for your photos, because we're doing these scrapbooks all for our photos. We want to make sure our photos are going to fit on these beautiful pages. Okay. So again, to tape that other side, I'm just going to put some tape on the back. And I'm going to make sure my flowers are opposite, and I'm going to put it at the 3-inch mark and the 6-inch mark. And then I'm going to take that middle piece and I'm just going to flip it over. It doesn't matter if the flowers on the back don't match up with the flowers. It doesn't have to be the opposite side, as long as those lines, those green lines, are going up and down. And there. And this Croptoberfest pack has another piece of this paper that we're going to play with. So you're going to see more bouquet on other papers. But I wanted to utilize it as best I thought. So I hope you like this page.